I make about 6 tech support house calls each and every week. Most of them are completed in about an hour, especially for a problem like Outlook not receiving email. But the thing about tech support is you never know what kind of situation you're walking into until you show up. There's a lot of variables, and you simply can't control all of them. Last week I went into what I thought would be a routine call that would take about 15 minutes. A new first-time client called saying that Outlook had stopped working. It just stopped suddenly, and it was giving an error whenever he opened it. They couldn't send or receive any emails. I've seen this before, so I anticipated a fairly straightforward process to repair it. I showed up at the client's home and had them demonstrate the problem to me. As I suspected, it looked like Outlook was not communicating with his email account servers. In this case, that was Google servers, but administered by TELUS. No problem. We'll just need to authenticate Outlook with his TELUS Gmail account, and all should be good to go. Except he doesn't know his email password. He checks his book. I'm sure you know the one. Almost everyone has it. I check his saved passwords in Edge and Chrome, but they don't work. Neither do any of the ones he produces from his book. But I see a saved password in Chrome for mytelus.com, and we should be able to change his password from in there. I type in his username and password, and success, they're correct. We just need to do the two-factor authentication code that they've sent to his email address that we don't know the password for. That means we can't get the code, and we can't get into the mytelus.com account to update the password. It's like this vicious circle of password misery. I explain everything that's happened so that the client knows, and I ask him if he's logged into the email account anywhere else, like on his cell phone or maybe a tablet. He isn't. He only uses email in Outlook on his laptop. Okay. This is a roadblock, but we should be able to call TELUS and get this resolved. So I call them up. Oh, and they're experiencing higher than normal call volume. The wait is estimated at 1 hour. Oh hey, like this video if you've ever called customer support and heard the higher than normal call volume spiel. We pass the time on hold by trying any password he can think of and changing it up in the little ways that I see clients do all the time, like changing a punctuation mark here, changing the capitalization there. By the way, don't do that. Use a totally unique password, but that's another story. Finally, we get someone on the phone from TELUS support. After giving them his account number and his PIN and explaining the whole issue, the support agent tells us there's nothing she can do. The account number, home address, and PIN aren't enough to confirm the client's identity, and so she can't make any security changes to his account, like changing the password to his email or just adding a second security method to his mytelus.com account. On the one hand, I get that TELUS has a responsibility to the security of the accounts. But on the other hand, that's why they have their customers create PINs and answer the verification questions at the start of the call. She goes on to tell us that if we take 2 pieces of government-issued ID into a TELUS store, they'll be able to verify his identity and get his account unlocked for him. This seems a little bit crazy to me, so I asked to talk to her supervisor. I really wanted a solution to my client's problem that didn't involve him needing to waste any more of his time. After a short wait, I'm greeted by the supervisor, who, by the way, sounds an awfully lot like the support agent I was just talking to, but hey, maybe that's just the phone line playing tricks on my ears. In any case, the supervisor just gives us the same story. We have to go into a TELUS store. I get off the phone and apologize to my client that the only way to get his account back seems to be presenting his ID at a physical TELUS store. He's flustered and asks if I know where a TELUS store is. I explain that there's one not too far away and start giving him directions. As I start preparing to leave, feeling upset that I wasn't able to resolve this problem, even if I did do all that I could, well, then he asks if I'd mind going to the store with him, since I could explain the situation better than he could. I agree to that, and we go get in my truck. We arrive at the TELUS store, and I explain the whole situation to the TELUS employee there. As I'm explaining it, The employee is frowning and slowly shaking his head. That's not something we do, he tells us. We can't verify your identity using ID, and we can't make any changes to your email or MyTELUS accounts, even if we could. The system just won't let us do it. It's all locked down, and we don't have that access. He explains that maybe a TELUS corporate store had more access, since his store was privately owned. He's assuming there must be some way to do this, since the tech support on the phone told us there was. So my client and I return to my truck and phone up the nearest corporate store. Nope, that's not something that they do. Now I'm getting really annoyed that the TELUS phone support seems to have just made up this whole procedure. I can only assume they did it just to get us off the phone. The employee at the corporate store suggests calling the support line again and asking to escalate the issue. Well, I thought that's what I did when I asked to talk to the supervisor. So I dial the number and start driving back to the client's house. He's almost steaming at this point. He is so mad. Both about the runaround from TELUS, the fact that he forgot his email password in the first place, and that he's still running up the clock on his on-site tech support invoice from me. And we're still no closer to a resolution. We arrive at his house, still on hold with TELUS, and I continue trying every combination of password that he's given me. At this point, it feels like I might be able to brute force crack this thing before we get anywhere with TELUS. Meanwhile, my client has kind of disappeared since we returned to his house. It's probably about 10 minutes before he returns, carrying a manila folder. Inside it is a TELUS bill with writing just scrolled all over it, every which way. I watch with mild curiosity as he studies it for a while, and then he circles something near the middle of the page. He turns it toward me and almost whispers, "Try that." Now I'm thinking, no. There's no way he's had the password recorded this entire time. I've asked him a number of times if there's anywhere else he might have written it down. He even called his son up to ask him if he had it written down somewhere. But I carefully type it into the password field, and boom, just like that. After 3 hours of back and forth with TELUS, 3 phone calls, a trip to a TELUS store, he actually had the password written down the whole time. Within 60 seconds of that, I have Outlook communicating again and send a few test emails to and from myself to make sure it's all working, and he's good to go. So what lessons can we take here? What's the takeaway? Well, your email does indeed have a password. I mention this because I see many clients like this one who don't realize that. For as long as they remember, they've opened up Outlook and their email's there. They never have to type in a password. But that's only because Outlook has saved it from the first time it was configured. That's great, and it works. Until it doesn't. The second lesson, use a password manager. The books and notes jotted down wherever they're convenient at the time just don't cut it. Not when we have hundreds, if not thousands, of passwords. And number 3, I'm sure there's a lesson about choosing your internet provider in there somewhere, but I don't want TELUS to sue me, so I'll let you come to your own conclusions about that one. Now I want to hear from you. What's the craziest house call you've dealt with? Whether you're someone who provides support in home or just somebody who has had support come to you. And I'm not talking just tech support. Plumbers, HVAC techs, electricians, I want to hear about any of it. What's the wildest story you have? Oh, and if you enjoyed this wild ride, why not follow along? I'll share other wild stories as they happen, and maybe I have a story about sabotage that happened last week I could share in the future. As always, why not enjoy your technology?